Wow, thank you. Whew. Look at this stage, my God. Good morning. I'm Professor Albus Percival Wulfric Brian Dumbledore. I'm about just a few months away from getting the beard. I've got the gray. Our school has often been compared to the fictional Hogwarts of the Harry Potter novels, and you can easily see why. We have no shortage of wizards on our campus, and their magic keeps us spellbound. Even something as simple and as basic as a graduation robe takes on color and vitality in their imaginative hands. The robes I wear today were created by members of the School of Design and Production students, faculty, and alumni, led by our director of the costume program, Bill Brewer. No black polyester for these guys. The coppery brown is the official degree color for fine and dramatic arts. The green is a subtle nod to our mascot, the pickle. The medallions on the sash, which hopefully you can see, these are they represent each of the arts disciplines on our campus. So I wish I had a close-up of these for all of you to see. They're so beautiful. And because our friends at DNP are detail-oriented perfectionists, they even embroidered the inside of the cap with a little gherkin. I don't know if y'all can see that. Do you all know that? Yeah. It is regalia that is as beautiful as it is symbolic. And it epitomizes the creativity and industriousness that defines UNCSA. I am proud to wear them, and prouder still to be a part of this incredible institution, which graduated its first class, fondly known as the Golden Pickles, 52 years ago in the spring of 1966. Yes. And this morning, we celebrate the Fighting Pickles on this stage, the undergraduate and graduate class of 2018. To begin, it is my pleasure to introduce Phil Byers, representing the Board of Governors for the 17 constituent campuses of the University of North Carolina system. Philip has been a member of the Board of Governors since 2015, is a former Board of Trustee member at Western Carolina, and a graduate of Appalachian State. Please join me in welcoming him.
Thank you for having me, and before I go script, I guess that's the right way to say it. I'm with professionals now, so this is not like what I usually do. I talk real slow because I'm from way deep in the mountains, so if anybody wants to take a break, you need to make a phone call or something. This is probably the time you would like to do it. Secondly, I can say this, I'm going to be in trouble now because the chancellor always gets worried when I talk. Downstairs, now my background was law enforcement, both federal, state, and I ended up a sheriff of a rural county in North Carolina to end my career. And downstairs, he was doing an ice vest, which those of you who are the true professionals know that's part of sometimes what you do. When he said, well, the ice vest looks just like a bulletproof vest. So when I walked down and they were helping him get an ice vest on, I thought, what kind of crowd are we speaking to today? So anyway, enough of that. He will never ask me back now. Thank you and good morning. On behalf of the University of North Carolina Board of Governors and UNC President Margaret Spellings, it is my great pleasure to bring greetings to today's graduates and your families, to the distinguished faculty, staff, alumni, and Board of Trustees of this institution, and to Chancellor Bierman and the esteemed members of the platform. Thank you. Graduates, congratulations. This day belongs to you and the years of hard work and creativity that have brought you to this moment. We are honored to celebrate your achievements and stand in eager anticipation of your future accomplishments. We all expect to see your names attached to brilliant projects works of art, and innovative ventures in our growing creative economy. And when these moments come, I hope you will remember the extraordinary education you received at this, a one-of-a-kind institution. The University of North Carolina School of the Arts is a treasure for the state of North Carolina because it brings you all together, concentrating your incredible talent and energy in a way few schools anywhere in the world can match. Whatever your futures may hold, know that you'll always have a home here at UNC School of the Arts and an enthusiastic audience to work for. Stay connected, stay involved, and stay true to the spirit of this wonderful institution. The day belongs to you, graduates, but you wouldn't be here without the extraordinary commitment of this faculty and to all the folks at UNC School of the Arts. They are the heart and soul of this institution and the people who have encouraged you to pursue this with your talent and ambition and given shape to your dreams. They are remarkable teachers in every part of this fine school, and we recognize their contributions through the Board of Governors Award for Excellence in Teaching. I would ask that you give a round of applause to the faculty here. I've had a chance. I sneak down and visit this institution and my chancellor quite often, and every time I leave, I'm happy. And I'm entertained, I'm smarter than when I arrived. Of course, that doesn't take a lot. But regardless, I appreciate what you do. Thank you. This award that we're about to present was established in 1994 to emphasize the critical importance of teaching and reward great teachers and mentors across the United States, across the university. And awards are given annually to tenured faculty from each of North Carolina's public universities. Recipients are nominated by special committees on their home campuses and selected after careful review by the Board of Governors. It is my great privilege to recognize this year's recipient, Mr. Howard Jones. Seems as if we made the right choice. I would ask Mr. Jones and Chancellor Bierman to please come forward. Mr. Howard Jones, an award-winning scenic artist, has taught here at the University of North Carolina School of the Arts for 28 years. 5 of those years he served as Assistant Dean in Design and Production. Current Design and Production Dean Michael Kelly, who is an alumnus of the Scene Design program, was one of Mr. Jones' first students at UNC School of the Arts. According to Kelly, Howard has earned the gratitude of his students and the respect of his peers. His work and the work of his students can be seen around the world in Broadway productions, regional theaters, films, television, themed events, and scenic art graduates have a definite advantage in the job market because they study with their recipient. Many current and former students have noted the myriad of ways Mr. Jones has affected the lives in their work. Howard Jones is known for his excellence in teaching, not just at the University of North Carolina School of Arts, but all across the United States and beyond. When his students go up for job interviews, they talk with other scenic artists and theater professionals or meet fellow and future alumni, we hear, "Oh, you're one of Howard's." This means a great deal. During his tenure, Mr. Jones has mentored several undergraduate and graduate students who have won national awards from United States Institute for Theater Technology, one of the nation's foremost organizations serving the live entertainment industry. In the past decade, 4 undergraduates have won USITT's W. Orrin Parker Undergraduate Scenic Design Award, and 2 graduate students have won the Rose Brand Scene Design Award. In March, a 2018 MFA candidate won USITT's Master Craftsman Award. Ryan Weininger, who won the USITT Scenic Design Award in 2009, stated, "With Howard's mentorship, it became second nature to walk into the School of Design and Production with a determination to challenge myself to try a little harder each day. This individualistic mentorship materialized a sense of sustainable self-discovery that I continue to use in Touchstone today. The School of the Arts was founded to give students exactly that kind of imaginative space and mentorship that Mr. Jones provides. As another alum stated, I often think back to Howard's embrace of the whole artist and his unique ability to recognize and champion a student's driving passions, even if they weren't strictly aligned with their declared major. For these many other reasons, I am glad to honor Mr. Howard Jones with this year's award. In honoring him, we also share our warm appreciation for the more than 14,000 dedicated faculty members who teach over 225,000 students throughout the University of North Carolina. Thank you.
Thank you to the Board of Governors, Chancellor Bierman, Provost English, Paul, and Dean Kelly. This is very endearing, and I have to thank my students and my peers who I teach with for the past 23 years. The truth is, I did not want to do this. Teaching was the family business. My mom, my uncle, my aunts, my grandmother, they all taught, and I was like, never. Well, never say never. And now, after 34 years of teaching, I can say I have loved this job. It's been rewarding with the riches of friendship for years past when my students graduate. So, what did I teach them? Well, here's a list of what they tell me has stuck in their heads. Don't ask me, go read the can. Paint faster. Get a bigger brush. This is not for the faint of heart, just do it. It's only paint, we can fix it. Drop the brush, step away from the painting. You're aging faster, please stand up straight. Painting is a physical business. Water weighs 8 pounds per gallon. So a 5-gallon pail of paint is 40 plus solids. Learn how to walk backwards in a straight line, please. Breathe. You cannot paint with your shoulders touching your earlobes. Make a flub up a feature, and a lazy painter is a fast painter, so write a process and plan ahead. There's always something to do while the paint dries. Get a fan. Test, 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 test. Patience is a virtue. Spray lightly in even coats, and paint comes out the end of the brush, not the side. I have been the Victor Borga of the paint shop because words don't always express how a brush moves. So, thick thin, thick thin, thick thin, make it evenly uneven, Push, twist, lift, push, twist, lift, blob, 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 squish. No scritchy, scratchy lines, no wiggly worms. Practice, practice, practice. Break it down to the simple shapes and then make it more complex. If you can't dazzle them with brilliance, baffle them with bold. 16-hour days are hard work. And if you do not love what you do something else. Do you really see what you're looking at? Play nice, pick up your toys. What do you want your life to look like? Pick your own path, define your own success. And last but not least, an educated man does not know everything, but they know where to find it. I've had a great career spending other people's money while I traveled and ate on their dime. And I've been proud to be your teacher and your mentor, and I'm now proud to be your friend and peer. Keep doing it, keep loving it. Further up, further in.
Good morning. On behalf of the University of North Carolina School of the Arts Board of Trustees and UNC President Margaret Spellings, I would like to welcome our guest, Paul Tazewell, Governor Byers, as well as families, friends, and stakeholders, and UNCSA faculty and staff. I bring greetings to all assembled here today for this auspicious event. And there are a lot of you. My special thanks to DMP for doing the math and telling me it's safe up here under the load of all these wonderful graduating students. Unfortunately, they can make no guarantees that those who are up here or those in the audience won't themselves break down during this wonderful and emotional ceremony. I will do my best to keep things dry. And what could be more dry than the day-to-day work of your Board of Trustees? Reviewing policies and procedures, reading, writing, and approving reports, etc. It's a wonder that anybody would want to do it, especially considering the pay, which is zero, by the way. But we are called to do this work because we know that it is artists who most enrich our culture, enlighten our society, lift our spirits, and feed our souls. We take seriously the responsibility to ensure that UNCSA has the resources and support it needs to nurture your talent, hone your craft, and help you develop your unique voices as emerging artists. And we have some good news on that front. After last year's record-setting giving, we notched another strong year, raising more than $11 million for scholarships, guest artists, special projects, programs, endowed scholarship and program support funds, and general support. And that's just to date. We still have 2 months left in our fiscal year. Hint, hint. But there's another reason I'm telling you this. Last year on this stage, Isaac Powell was sitting with his School of Drama classmates and politely waiting for me to finish my remarks. A month ago, he was back on campus to see Peter and the Starcatcher, and he gave an interview to our Alumni Stories team. About landing a starring role on Broadway, he said, "It's not just one thing. They say success is where luck meets opportunity meets preparation." Once on this island happened at the right time and was the right role for me. So note to self, find the right role for you. Another part of my success was that through UNCSA, I was able to make incredible industry connections. Note to self, use the network we have built over these last 50+ years. And I also learned in school that we are the CEOs of ourselves and that we need to take ownership of our careers. We have to advocate for ourselves, become visible, and make opportunities. Whatever we have done to recruit funds for this building or that program, for this teacher or that overdue maintenance, what we are really investing in at the end of the day is the development of the hundreds of CEOs sitting on this stage with me today, ready to rock this world with your vision, your passion, and your creativity. We are so proud of what you have done, so excited about what you will do next, and remember, if you can't lead yourself, how the heck are you going to lead anybody else? Thank you.
Hello, my name is Wade Wilson, and I've had the great honor to serve UNCSA as the Chair of Faculty Council this year. Thank you, Chancellor Bierman, Provost English, Chairperson Tiemann, Governor Byers, all of the deans, and my esteemed colleagues, and all of the parents, family, and friends here today. Thank you for allowing me to participate in this wonderful rite of passage with this incredible group of artists on stage before us. Graduates, you're all on this stage today because you've completed the work. You put in the time, given the sweat and blood, and likely some tears. You've developed the grit and earned the right to call yourselves artist citizens. Congratulations. You are now just moments away from becoming part of a very unique family of highly trained UNCSA alums, also known as Fighting Pickles. Look around this stage. These are the faces of the future artists and entertainment industry leaders. You are all artists, which makes you a unique and powerful group. Your faculty stood before you, guiding you over the years, helping you to develop your own personal artistic prowess. We were thrilled at the opportunity to teach and mentor each and every one of you through the arduous process of becoming the next generation of artist citizens. As artists, you will have something profound and meaningful to offer the world, and realize each generation has a chance to change the world. Seize your opportunity to use your art to shape a world you would want to live in and one you want to pass on to the next generation. That being said, there's always a bit of chaos and uncertainty in the world, and lately, to some of us, the chaos appears widespread. It can be intimidating, but please remember and take to heart that in times like these, humanity looks to the arts for comfort, the light of guidance, and to lift its spirits. Each and every one of you up here today are now highly trained artists. So, you are the light. Use your calling to cast light into any darkness. You can build the bridges for humanity to come together through thought-provoking art. Now you have your chance to change the world. I'd like to leave you with several words to ponder after we leave here today. In my experience, any measured success in the arts takes a few things. Perseverance, which means, and this is all straight out of Merriam-Webster, continued effort to do or achieve something despite difficulties, failure, or opposition. The action or condition or an instance of persevering, steadfastness. That's an important one. Also, grit, meaning firmness of mind or spirit, unyielding courage in the face of hardship or danger. It takes a lot of that. Another one is passion, meaning intense driving or overmastering feeling or conviction with enough passion to make a great poet, W.B. Yeats. It takes a ton of that. And lastly, it's gratitude, meaning appreciative of benefits received. Thankfulness. Ah, yes, thankfulness is so important. So with that, I thank you all. Congratulations to all of the graduates. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. That was so nice. That was so nice. My name is Hasia Muhammad. I'm an actor in the School of Drama, and I'm UNCSA Student Body President. These last couple of weeks have been a lot of lasts for all of us. Our last show, our last portfolio review, last exams, and now I'm speaking for the last time as a student body president. And I want to say what an honor and a privilege it has been to serve as a representative to the student body this school year. And it has been even more of an honor and a privilege to get to know all of these wonderful people up here on the stage with me today. Sitting on the stage today are some of the most hardworking, talented, and loving individuals that I have ever met in my life, and I am incredibly grateful for all of them. We have been told time and again that college will be the best 4 years of our lives. Now, assuming that we all live long and healthy lives, this statement might not be true, but it also might be. But what I can say for sure is that we will never experience another 4 years like these last 4. I had a kid and his dad come up to me during an open house this semester. They were asking me all of the standard questions that you'd expect someone to ask about art school. Things like, do you feel like you'll be able to work after graduating? How hard are the academics? Should I wear all black to my audition? But the kicker was, can my son have a normal college experience here? Which was actually the easiest question to answer. No. See, our school doesn't have fraternities. You can't double major, and we call our professors by their first names. You won't see us in the news for our crazy parties. Clothes covered in paint are the norm, and we get to wear whatever we want to graduation. Not having a normal college experience is what makes our school so special. I don't know about any other school where students get upset when the classes get closed due to snow. I don't know any other school where you can walk through the courtyard and get a concert on your way to the cafeteria, or where the mascot is a fighting pickle that wears a tutu and wields a paintbrush. And we aren't just different from standard colleges and universities. We're also very much different from our peer arts institutions. What UNCSA does incredibly well in comparison to others is help to mold young artists into the people that they need to be. Our school isn't a machine that pulls in raw talent and spits out pickle bots. It takes in the raw talent, finds what is special about it, and it nurtures that. Speaking for myself, UNCSA has been exactly what I've needed to take my craft and my path as a human being to the next level. And I'm sure that I'm not the only one up here who shares that sentiment. I always tell prospective students that UNCSA is a hidden gem full of opportunities. Some of those opportunities won't just fall in your lap, but they're there if you look for them. You know, things like taking class with the contemporary dance majors for 2.5 years. But perhaps the greatest opportunity that this school has provided is the chance to be a part of a community, really, a family. What makes today all the more surreal is that I know I'm about to join an extended family of alumni, but at the same time, I feel like I'm having to leave home. So as we embark on this next phase of our journeys as artists and as citizens, I'd like to say to my class, we're ready. Yes, most of us have been in school for the past 19 plus years. And breaking from that structure is going to be scary. But as we've all heard countless times, trust the process. All of our life experiences have been leading us up to this moment right here. And if we weren't meant to be here today getting our diplomas, then we wouldn't be. We all have dreams. And like Denzel Washington said, by setting goals, having discipline and consistency, those dreams can become our reality. And also, I don't know about y'all, but I'm excited. We finally get to put all of this work and all this craft to the test and get paid for it. Now, what will be paid is subject to change, but, you know. We finally get to go out and use our art to affect a change in the world. I spoke earlier in the semester at a forum for diversity and inclusivity, and I charged the underclassmen who attended to go out and be the example for their peers on campus. So today I'd like to charge my class with a similar task. How can we as a graduating class be an example for our society? As the rapper Common said, our job as artists is to reflect in our work the time we are living in. Now, before it gets too deep, I'm gonna keep it real millennial and take a selfie with my class real quick. Come on, y'all. Woo. Here we are. I took like 6 and they're probably really blurry, but you know. There's so much that I can say right now, and I hope I've done my class justice with the words that I've shared. I'm just incredibly grateful for being able to stand up here in front of all of you today. UNCSA has been everything I've needed and more. I have to give my praise and thanks to God, thanks to my parents, family, and of course, all of my friends that I've made along the way. To my mentors and advisors, thank you. Jose Limon said, "Most people aren't prepared. They become like wild children and run for the exit. But we're not them." So class of 2018, let's get it. Thank you.
All right, the Kleenex under the podium is for me. Good Lord, oh my gosh, okay. Whew. Thank you, Hasiem. Now we would like to celebrate the inaugural recipients of the Chancellor's Artpreneurship Award. These awards are part of an initiative that I announced last May to support a particular kind of artist, someone who is not defined by what is, but is inspired by all that could be, who is business savvy and technologically aware, and who is devoted to generating value and impact through their creative practice. This artist is someone who reaches beyond existing disciplines to develop new ways to connect with others, and who is willing to take creative risks to positively impact our world. These are artpreneurs, artists who have an entrepreneurial spirit and possess the grit it takes to create transformational work. During a special reception last night, I had the honor of presenting the Artpreneur Awards for graduating students to 4 artists who have exceptional entrepreneurial ideas for creative businesses or projects they will spearhead after graduation. Today, I'd like to continue the celebration by announcing the inaugural recipient of the Chancellor's Artpreneur of the Year Award. This award is a merit-based award given to an alumnus who has initiated a creative project or enterprise of the highest merit, artistic excellence, or innovative potential. Recipients receive a grant of $20,000 to support their project or enterprise, and the recipient of this year's Artpreneur of the Year Award is Christopher Bain. Chris graduated with a BFA in Sound Design and Engineering from the School of Design and Production in 2006 and continued to work professionally as a sound designer and composer for live theater. He is a co-founder of Aave, a company that seeks to create tools for artists that enable them to spend less time on laborious technical tasks and more time creating. Chris was inspired to found Aave because he felt limited in how far he could push his work with the tools he was using and found himself spending too much time hacking together different technologies to accomplish his goals. He couldn't fully execute his vision with today's technology. This chasm between the technology and the arts is why he created Aave's first product, Canvas, a platform for multimedia artists such as sound, video, and lighting designers, which allows them to collaborate, have more control over the performance, and create more dynamically responsive art. And I hope that he will be on campus next semester to work with our students on that platform. Chris was one of 10 alumni who were nominated by the deans of their art schools, who were then evaluated by a committee of fellow artists and creative entrepreneurs. While each of the nominees was exceptional, and I mean truly exceptional, the committee believed that Chris best embodied the definition of an artpreneur. While he experienced professional success, he felt limited by the options available to him. He identified a personal need and set out to find a solution, which in this case was designing an entirely new technological platform. He recognized that his ideas could improve the experience and the work of others, and he set out to change the field dramatically. I ask all of you to join me in recognizing Chris's vision and congratulate him on this honor. And may I have the check, please?
Somebody's going to get that on a plate.
That's my Publishers Clearinghouse moment. Congratulations, Chris. And we gave him a real check last night. We're good for it. Now, would all of the parents, friends, family, spouses, and significant others please stand? You have supported these graduates with your love and financial support, and graduates, this is your time to thank them. Thank you. Now, I would like for all of our faculty and staff to please stand. Graduates. I think they know the deal, yeah. I also want to give a special shout out to the commencement crew from the School of Design and Production, whose contributions have made this event possible and distinctive. Thank you, DNP. UNCSA is most fortunate to have a community of loyal, longtime supporters, benefactors, trustees, Giannini members, and tireless volunteers who contribute countless hours and ongoing financial support for the school. I speak for everyone on this stage in expressing our sincere and deepest gratitude for all that these important supporters so selflessly give. Please join me in expressing our sincere thanks for their continued support of this great institution. And finally, the citizens and the elected representatives of North Carolina have made a tremendous investment in your future. Approximately 60% of the cost of your education here was paid for by the taxpayers of this great and generous state. They deserve your profound gratitude, and I ask you to applaud the people of North Carolina. The Giannini Society Award is one of UNCSA's most prestigious honors and is given in recognition of remarkable service to the school. Named in honor of Vittorio Giannini, composer and first president of the School of the Arts, the Giannini Society is a group of dedicated supporters of the university who seek to further our mission of providing world-class arts training to talented, dedicated young artists. This award is given annually to members of the society who have distinguished themselves through outstanding service and support. This year's recipients, I'm so glad to announce, are Carolyn and Douglas Bailey. Since being introduced to UNCSA 15 years ago, Carolyn and Doug have devoted themselves to making our university better in so many ways. They have been volunteers, advocates, benefactors, and champions for our school and its students. Carolyn and Doug have served on the Giannini Advisory Committee since 2004, helping to find new supporters for the university. In addition, Carolyn is an active member of the Associates Board, serving as its president from 2010 to 2012, and she currently co-chairs the successful Salon at Six Committee. Carolyn and Doug have also given generously of their own resources, faithfully renewing their membership in the Giannini Society every year for the past 15 years. In addition, the Baileys established the Carolyn L. Bailey Scholarship in 2016 to assist promising students with financial need, helping to narrow the gap between talent and access. Carolyn and Doug consider it a privilege to be associated with UNCSA and are inspired by every facet of learning. Their steadfast support has helped make our school what it is today. Their many years of dedicated service is an inspiration to me personally, and I am so proud to call them friends and have them as members of the UNCSA family. Today, we honor Carolyn and Doug with the 2018 Giannini Award for their extraordinary service to the school. Please join me in congratulating Carolyn and Doug as they receive this well-deserved recognition. If you're a musical theater enthusiast, I think we have a few of those in the house, you may have experienced the Twitterverse explosion during NBC's April 1st production of Tim Rice and Andrew Lloyd Webber's Jesus Christ Superstar live in concert. The superb singing and dancing notwithstanding, it was the costumes that took center stage of this historic show. In fact, there was a story written about all the tweets about the rock musical's costumes titled, "The Jesus Christ Superstar Live Costumes Have Fans Completely Freaking Out." One tweet said, "I'm living for this Yeezy meets Yogi meets Willy Wonka costume design." Another said, "Ancient Israel was swimming in leather and glitter." Another, "If I had to rise from the dead for a finale, I too want to be in a mesh sequins shirt." Another, "These costumes are all wild and I love them." And another, in all caps, "Give this costume designer a raise." And finally, the costume designer on this movie had a ball and no one said no to anything they wanted. And there was a there was an expletive deleted in there. The costume designer on NBC's Jesus Christ Superstar, as well as the 2012 Broadway revival, just happens to be our commencement speaker, Mr. Paul Tazwell. And Paul, as you can read in your program, has designed costumes for Broadway, off-Broadway, opera, dance, television, and film for more than 25 years. From Bring Into Noise, Bring Into Funk, God, I sound like a dork saying that, the start of his Broadway career in 1995, and his first big break, to his newest Broadway shows, the Donna Summer Musical and Jimmy Buffett's Escape to Margaritaville, Paul has had an extraordinary career that just keeps getting hotter and hotter. He's been nominated for the Tony Award 5 times, and in 2016, he was awarded both the Tony Award for Hamilton and the Emmy Award for The Wiz Live. Woo! For The Wiz Live, I remember a national trade publication, The Hollywood Reporter, hailing his, quote, eye-popping colors and geometric designs for costumes and giving him special credit for his, quote, sexy poppies, terrifying crows, and the Tron meets Madonna 1776 get-ups in Emerald City. And then there's Hamilton. While Paul had worked on another hip-hop musical with Lin-Manuel Miranda, In the Heights, he said he was excited to embrace period design for Hamilton. As the Tyranny of Style website said, costumes designed by Tazwell help to wonderfully support such bold storytelling by expertly combining the fussy world of 18th century dress with a minimalist modern sensibility. The whole Hamilton phenomenon basically confirmed what we had known all along, that Paul Tazwell is a genius. Quote, he said, quote, as a costumer, I have learned to be a bit of a chameleon. I think many designers would say that of themselves. This is the fun of designing. As a costume designer, I live vicariously through all of the characters in a production. I make choices to support the character the first time you see them step onto the stage before they speak a word. Paul grew up in Ohio, the son of a Firestone research chemist father and French and English teacher mother. It was his mother who exposed him to painting, puppet making, and performing. And it was his mother who taught him to sew. While his true love was performing, he interned in the costume shop of the Akron University Theater Department in high school and enrolled in the Pratt Institute in Brooklyn to major in fashion design. After a year, he transferred to the School of the Arts School of Design and Production and went on to receive his BFA in costume design. He got his MFA in costume and set design from NYU's Tisch School of the Arts and started designing regularly around the country in regional theater until Broadway called. In the years since he graduated, Paul has made time in his crazy busy schedule to return to his alma mater to teach master classes for our students. It probably helps that his mother, whom he says is still his biggest fan and cheerleader, and other relatives live in the Asheboro-Greensboro area, and that DNP Dean Michael Kelly, and fellow alum, was one of his classmates at UNCSA. Today, we are so fortunate to have him back, this time as commencement speaker for our class of 2018. But before you hear from Paul, we have some official business to tend to, which is the awarding of his honorary doctorate. It is the custom of the university to confer honorary doctorates at each commencement ceremony. These honorary degrees are given by the institution as a means of recognizing outstanding contributions to the arts and to arts education. Our university provost, David English, will now read the resolution conferring the degree. Paul, would you please step forward?
Whereas Paul Tazwell has proven himself a prolific and award-winning costume designer for Broadway, regional theater, film, television, dance, and opera productions for more than 25 years, graduating from the UNCSA School of Design and Production in 1986, and whereas Mr. Tazwell started his Broadway career with the groundbreaking musical Bring Into Noise, Bring Into Funk, followed by work on the original Broadway productions of In the Heights, The Color Purple, Memphis, Caroline or Change, Elaine Stritch at Liberty, and Russell Simmons' Deaf Poetry Jam, and revival works, A Streetcar Named Desire, Jesus Christ Superstar, Guys and Dolls, A Raisin in the Sun, and On the Town. And whereas Mr. Tazwell has created designs in the United States and across the world for such renowned companies as the Metropolitan Opera, the Bolshoi Ballet, the English National Opera, Théâtre du Châtelet, the Public Theater, the National Theater, the Kennedy Center, the Guthrie Theater, Arena Stage, Houston Grand Opera, San Francisco Opera, and many more. And whereas Mr. Tazwell has won 2 Lucille Lortel Awards, 4 Helen Hayes Awards, the coveted Princess Grace Statue Award, and many other regional design honors, and whereas Mr. Tazwell won a Tony Award in 2016 for costume design for the Broadway smash Hamilton, and has been nominated for 5 other Tony Awards, and whereas Mr. Tazwell won an Emmy Award for costume design for NBC's The Wiz Live in 2016. And whereas Mr. Tazwell has designed costumes for the Broadway production of Jimmy Buffett's Escape to Margaritaville and for NBC's Jesus Christ Superstar Live in Concert in 2018. Therefore, be it resolved, we, the Board of Trustees of the University of North Carolina School of the Arts, do hereby recognize the considerable accomplishments of Paul Tazwell and grant to him the degree Honorary Doctor of Fine Arts.
Now, before we hear from Paul, let's take a look at some of his, you now know, extraordinary and prolific work.
So that's a little bit of what I've been doing since I left here. Wow, that's really overwhelming to see so much of your life and hear what you've done, or what I've done. It's great. Thank you, Chancellor Bierman, the Board of Trustees, and the University of North Carolina School of the Arts. Good morning, everyone. I am so very thrilled to be back in my alma mater and feel truly blessed to be sharing this milestone experience with all of you. I have no problem admitting this. I am more than a little nervous standing here today. I don't really know why. I've given hundreds of design presentations, countless interviews, and I have had the privilege to give master classes to young designers and artisans across the country. But I have never given a commencement speech. This is different because I have the opportunity to help steer you towards the individual directions each one of you will take with your first steps outside these gates and into a new, singular adulthood. It is also different because the life I live now would not have been possible without my time at NCSA, which is what we called it when I was here. And so this feels like a deeply emotional honor to hold. I wasn't sure where to start when I sat down to write these words. First, I was left stunned when I did the math and realized that 32 years have passed since I sat where you are now. I spent 3 days crying, and I even contemplated plastic surgery. After pulling myself together, I understood that I needed to approach this as any prepared designer would. I hopped online, I went straight to Google, and I typed, "How to give a great commencement speech." No way. You would be shocked to know how many sites you can wade through, but over and over again, I found the same directives. Number one, be funny. Easy for Chris Rock, but Paul Tazwell was not made for stand-up. I'm going to attempt to be funny anyway. So if I don't hear uncontained laughter whenever I crack a joke, I am walking out of this theater and across the street to get an espresso. Number two, use as many quotes of as many different types that you can realistically cram into a script. Okay, I like quotes. I thought, I've been known to have a few magnets, inspirational magnets on my refrigerator, touting an inspirational line or two. Quotes will work, quotes I can do. I will slip in one wherever I can, whenever I can. So on that note, I have decided to begin with a quote right from the top. Take a deep breath, release it, and let me share with you these words so wisely stated by the brilliant Deepak Chopra. Every time you are tempted to act in the same old way, ask yourself if you want to be a prisoner of the past or a pioneer of the future. Okay, I'm going to read this again, and we might let it settle in a little bit. And please listen carefully to this, because as you leave here today, I would like for you to consider adopting these words as a mantra that might carry you through your lives as both artists and as human beings. Every time you are tempted to act in the same old way, ask yourself if you want to be a prisoner of the past or a pioneer of the future. I know it's a lot. And you thought that you were going to waltz in here and get your rolled up scroll of paper and walk on your merry way. Wrong. Let's start by focusing on the word pioneer, because I think to define it requires some pretty hardcore self-reflection. For me, and hopefully for you, by the end of this day, Mr. Chopra's words might make you ask yourselves, where do I fit in this world as an artist and as a person? Am I willing to constantly analyze, adjust, and grow to exceed what I thought I was capable of? What is my truth? And am I willing to never stop seeking the answers to that question and then accept them without ego? What do I believe in? Am I willing to be as open to others as I want them to be to me? Am I willing to admit that I can be proven fallible Being a pioneer means seeking the answers that you do not yet have. Being a pioneer means you never stop asking the questions which get you to those answers. I had the pleasure and the privilege of working with one true pioneer recently. His name is Lin Manuel Miranda. Perhaps you've heard of him. If Lin had not had the courage and tenacity to take a chance on something he truly believed in, if he had listened to the naysayers and instead settled for status quo, and if he had not the fortitude to be a pioneer, he might have given up, he might have thrown up his hands, and we would have lost what Michelle Obama called the greatest piece of art of any kind that she has ever seen in her life. Of course, I'm referring to Hamilton, a musical that I had the immense honor of designing the costumes for. Not only was this show created by a pioneer, but that show, in and of itself, is a pioneer. Why? While Hamilton may lovingly reference musicals of the past, it is anything but a prisoner to the past. And I'll tell you what, that I know for a fact that Hamilton did not come easy for Lin. I know that Lin's refusal to create in the same old ways took 7 years of forward thinking, 7 years of trial and error, 7 years to create a work for one of the riskiest markets out there. Nowadays, most people don't even hold onto their cars for 7 years. When we collaborators started our work on Hamilton, it was still in process. And we all watched, day after day, as Lin created a blueprint from which we were all able to work from. And that passion, his passion, to tell a universal story in a whole new way, spread to each and every one of us that was involved in the creation of that production. We were all made to feel as if we had been invited along on the ride with him. 3 years has already passed since the opening of Hamilton, and it still stands as the highlight of my 27 years in this business. Why? Because it was truly the process that every theater artist dreams of. Groundbreaking work, fluid and generous collaboration shared throughout the entire team, the knowledge that I was part of a project that has changed the way both individuals and the world experience musical theater. And finally, because it is a piece of art that asks the audience deeply profound questions which we all leave the theater seeking the answers to. That process was as close to perfection that I may ever get in the role of a costume designer. Wanting to know our role in this world is one of life's most demanding quests. I believe that to find the answer, we must strive to keep evolving. We must try to keep moving forward, opening our minds to experiencing life through all of the options and filters available to us. If we heed Mr. Chopra's words, then we must acknowledge that the action of seeking our own evolution will help us to avoid walking down the path of our same old ways. So when you stumble or even fall flat, ask yourself, what can I do differently next time to affect the outcome? I can almost guarantee you that the answer to that question will take introspection. It will not fall in your lap. And even if another is at fault, it is your lesson to learn how to avoid that the next time. This self-reflection also holds another value. As I see it, this give and take of our own awareness should also ultimately provide you with a sense of balance in your life. I tell you this because in my life, balance has always been, and still can be, a bit of a struggle. These are my personal truths, and when it comes to balance, I'm filling my role as a costume designer for the last 27 years, and I've often lost the balance between my personal life and professional life. This loss has not usually swung in my favor. In seeking to nurture my career, I have often made my sense of self a second or third priority instead of my first. I have sometimes forgotten that there are other sides of my life: family, friends, culture outside of the theater, and yes, even hobbies. If I can pass on only one piece of wisdom, it would be this: everybody deserves and should create a fulfilling life outside of work. And I have learned this the hard way, despite my success. I have sometimes lost myself in work and sacrificed my roles as a friend, a son, a husband, and yes, even a dog owner. I have traveled for weeks on end for work, slept in way too many hotels, taken countless red-eye flights, and I have probably reached my lifetime maximum consumption of coffee. At many times, I have juggled 3, 4, 5 projects at the same time, and it's never pretty. Lots of stress, and yes, lots of carnage. Why all this insanity? Because I was repeating old behaviors again and again. I was a prisoner to the last show, or the one before that, which hadn't gone the way I had hoped. I was always thinking of the next show, done in much the same way, would be the one that made me a successful designer. What I couldn't see was that I was already successful, just not exactly in the way that I had dreamt of my success. So I was, in a sense, doing double damage to myself. I wasn't getting enough different results from the same old choices, and I was not maintaining the balance that I needed in my personal life. As it is for many people, I think my point of view stemmed from seeds that were planted long ago. You see, my childhood was spent as an overweight, asthmatic black boy in what was a predominantly white neighborhood, but quickly changing in Ohio. That life was far from brutal, and I was very well cared for by my parents. I had brothers and plenty of friends on our street to engage with. But I was not what you would consider popular. But being that specific boy in that environment was certainly not the easiest place to build my self-esteem. I always felt like I wasn't quite good enough, that I always had to try twice as hard as the other kids. And at 10 years old, I didn't know much about the outside world. I was not what you would call cosmopolitan. But as far as the inside world went, I absolutely knew that I loved to play dress-up. I knew that I loved a good wig made of curled paper and tape, and I loved a good headdress. I also loved making puppets, and my parents helped me to discover theater. Later, theater classes at school and in the community would give me a great sense of belonging. These loves gave me a sense of purpose, but I didn't know how to put that into words at that time. These loves also set me on a path where a lot of life's questions appeared to be answered for me, because I had found a niche that was shaping my identity. When I came to NCSA, I didn't question my role in life or my role as a student. I was happy to just belong in that incredible group of talented peers and instructors. It felt so different and awe-inspiring for me to be admired and liked and called talented after all those years of schoolyard rejection, and it was like manna. I finally felt like I belonged, and it felt amazing. So at that time, I didn't think that I was concerned about being a pioneer. Why? I believe now that I was just thankful to be in a place where it was okay to be somebody that was chunky or quirky or shy or even audacious, or maybe wear a kimono and a full kabuki makeup to philosophy class. And trust me, that was not me. NCSA was a haven where the color of my face was the last thing on people's minds. And frankly, I didn't want to rock that boat. I didn't guess during those days that I would only have that one benefit for a few more years, because my race would indeed ultimately influence the entire path of my career. The prolific costume designer Ann Roth, who today, even at 88 years old, is still working in theater and film, and who just scored 3 Tony nominations, gave a master class at NCSA when I was a senior. I remember she flipped through my portfolio filled with these elaborately sketched period and fantasy shows. And she spoke very bluntly that I had a very good chance for success in this business. However, she added that I needed to study modern urban dress, street clothes, and music and fashion, because those characters and those stories would inhabit the next great wave of theater, television, and film. On the outside, I smiled and nodded my head in agreement. On the inside, I groaned, because my plan to design classical theater and opera and dance had been dashed. In my mind, I wasn't going to budge. Why? Well, who was I in my khaki pants and Oxford shirt? I didn't know anything about the urban street. I was from a tiny street in Akron, Ohio. I had never experienced that life, and it was way outside of my comfort zone. My take on Black culture was whatever I had experienced with my family and friends and church community. But if you know my career, you probably know that Ann Roth's words would be prescient. They would propel me forward on a path that I never would have expected. Some of it amazing, and some of it very frustrating. Why frustrating? Well, let's talk about this business, theater or film, whichever you like, and how I have navigated it all of these years. Okay, prepare yourselves. I'm going to hit you with the second quote of the day. And it's from one of America's very own versions of royalty, RuPaul. By the way, I want you to take this with a grain of salt, and don't panic when you hear it. Here goes. Want a career in showbiz? First ask yourself how much heartbreak, humiliation, and rejection you are willing to endure. I know this sounds grim and uninspiring, and I bet you've heard similar statements like that before, right? To a degree, this statement is accurate, but any discipline in showbiz, it will take work to get your foot in the door. But really, I don't think RuPaul meant this as an ominous warning. I don't think we should take it on as one either. After all these years as a designer, I actually read this as a challenge from Ru. He worked for many years before he reached his level of stardom. If he is not a pioneer, I don't know who is. He has taken a once taboo subculture and made it entirely mainstream to America. I believe what Ru is saying is the following: always believe in yourself above all else. But within that belief, you will still experience the great pain that life can throw your way. Believe in yourself above all else, but know that there will be almost insurmountable challenges in the world for you to face. Believe in yourself above all else, and know that indeed your heart will be broken at least once. But also, those pieces can be put back together again. If you believe me, you will see that on the other side of those challenges and obstacles, your belief in yourself will lead you to great reward, inner strength, and most importantly, self-reliance. The bottom line is that showbiz, or any profession in the arts, is a challenging business for women, for men, for those of the LGBTQ community, and yes, people of color like me. But trust me, whatever you do, do not resent your differences, ever. Instead, embrace them. Empower them to inspire you to create change. It pains me to admit that earlier in my career, I resented being labeled a Black designer because it motivated people to hire me only for Black-themed shows or a Black version of a classic like Twelfth Night or Seagull. Or maybe even I would be offered the privilege of doing an August Wilson play, surely a genius if there ever was. But I felt like that kept boxing me in. Many times Anne Roth's words and my stubborn reaction to them rang in my ears. I believe people thought that my being Black gave me a mental encyclopedia of all the aspects that define the Black experience. The reality was I had to do my research like any other good designer would for any show. I never called it in, ever. It had stung to think that I might be getting work out of political correctness and not my talent. I felt I was being kept in a place that wasn't allowing me to design in the ways that I had hoped for. I felt artistically stifled. It took a while for me to stop and take stock of the fact that I was at least getting the work. In actuality, I was grateful for the work. I was able to support myself and start to make a name for myself. I was being given my shot in some senses. So I got in that state of mind where it was up to me to prove all that I could do, no matter what it took out of me. I had dreams of showing that what I was capable of, and that it was so much more and not going to stop. So I was beyond ecstatic to get my first Broadway show. It was indeed an African-American show, but you can imagine how little I cared about that at that point. It was Broadway. Finally, my tireless work ethic and drive to succeed was paying off. This show turned out to be Bringing the Noise, Bringing the Funk, directed by the incomparable and brilliant George C. Wolfe. As Hamilton would become almost 20 years later, Noise Funk was a game changer. It remodeled the shape of the American musical in the way it used music, structure, and the mind-blowing tap choreography of Savion Glover. There I was, working on a show that used tap dance, bucket drums from the New York subways to speak of the African-American experience, all the way from slavery to the present. Yes, this indeed meant designing urban street clothes, Lord have mercy. But it also gave me the opportunity to help tell an amazing new story through centuries' worth of different types of period dress. The critics went wild for the show, and much like Hamilton, they heralded it as a revolutionary piece of theater that moved the genre forward and raised the bar for new musicals. If I hadn't done Noise Funk, my life might have been very different today, because for the first time, I saw the possibility that the color of my skin might be an asset and not a hindrance. And although I didn't really see at the time, I began to feel somewhere in the back of my mind more confident in my abilities. I see now that this was when I began to believe in myself and acknowledge that my vision was original. Still, don't get me wrong, it has taken years to climb over many different types of obstacles, and truth be told, I still occasionally run into them. Thankfully, I have also been able to create a reserve of inner strength, and in difficult times, I'm able to fan those sparks of strength into flames. After 27 years of ups and downs, successes and failures, joys and disappointments, I have come to realize that what I had failed to grasp as a young man for a long time. I had proven that I had possessed the tenacity and the courage to take a chance in a profession that was supporting few persons of color at the time. I had proven that I had the perseverance and the self-conviction and the strength to keep pushing forward, forcing an evolution. Hindsight is 20/20, but I wish I had recognized a bit more of this 20 years ago. I also see that now that I established some pretty solid rules to play through the ups and downs of this career. Number one, you need to respect yourself even when there is none present in the room. Treat people the way you want to be treated, regardless of how they treat you. You will always be the winner in the end. Drop your ego off at the door. It will inevitably be waiting for you when you get back. The fourth one, you need to believe in yourself even when nobody else will. And fifth, remember that failure can be the greatest teacher of all. I look out at you, this group of young pioneers in front of me, behind me, with awe and amazement at the possibilities ahead for you. When I started my career, there were no cell phones, no internet, no search engines. Hell, we barely had a fax machine. And yet somehow we still made it work. When I look at you, I see people who are light years ahead of where I was with the technology and communication at your age. And as you well know, that ability to communicate today on a global scale is so vital and so necessary to our present futures. In you, I see a generation who has the passion and fortitude to rise up against violence and ignorance and stagnant politics, and rally hundreds of thousands of people to march as one. You defy victimhood and are without doubt pioneers in your roles and your belief in humanity. When I see women and their male friends of your age and all ages stand up as one voice, refusing to allow abuse simply because of their gender, in you I see a generation with the power to stop gender inequality forever. In you, I see a generation that will build the power structure and belief base to elect the first Black woman, the first Latino, and the first gay man into office as the President of the United States. You are pioneers in these roles and a collective of tolerance. Never forget, my friends, that the arts does have the power to make these social changes happen. The arts have and always will continue to hold the mirror of humanity, up to each and every person's face in this world, if they choose to look. The arts have the power to defeat bigotry, the power to extinguish hatred, and the power to even end dictatorships disguised in the face of democracies. Never forget, my colleagues, that all aspects of the arts will continue to question and remodel the wrongs of this world that need to be righted. This discipline, which you have chosen to devote your life to, has the power to change the hearts of the most closed-minded and the minds of those people who believe they know it all. We, you, hold the power to uplift and change lives globally. This movement, ladies and gentlemen, as you graduate today, is the responsibility you are being handed. Your time here at UNCSA has given you the tools and the expertise to become forward-thinking artists. It is incumbent on you to share your talents and use your artistic voice courageously to create change in this world. It is the chance for all of you to be pioneers. May you hold this responsibility close to your hearts and your minds, and may you never stop moving forward. I am so proud to be your fellow alumnus. Godspeed.
Thank you to our first graduate of the day, Dr. Tazwell. Chancellor Bierman, at this time, we would like to present to you and the candidates for graduation and confer their certificates and degrees. All candidates for graduation, please stand. Chancellor Bierman, these candidates have completed requirements of the University of North Carolina School of the Arts for receiving the appropriate professional artist certificate, Master of Music degree, Master of Fine Arts degree, Bachelor of Fine Arts degree, or Bachelor of Music degree, and have been approved for graduation by the administration and faculty of the school.
By virtue of the authority vested in me by the Board of Governors of the University of North Carolina and by the Board of Trustees of the University of North Carolina School of the Arts, and with the faculty concurring, I confer upon you the appropriate certificate or degree with all rights and privileges pertaining thereto.
Graduates, please be seated. This is the largest graduating class in the history of University of North Carolina School of the Arts. There are 266 students graduating today. That's a lot of diplomas. Let's do this! The Master of Fine Arts degree will now be awarded to the candidates of the School of Design and Production. The Dean of Design and Production, Michael Kelly, will join me on the stage. Graduates, please come forward.
Clara Jane Osborne Abernathy.
Congratulations.
Dorothy Marie Austin Harrell. Michael Anthony Avagliano. Christina Maureen Curtis. Rachel Ann Dombey.
Congratulations.
Jonathan Jacob Everett.
Congratulations.
Joseph Richard McCurdy Hultquist. Melanie Elise Lamb. Clara H. McLean. Michael Trent Sinesny. Amy Lynn Phillips. Cara Elizabeth Spencer. Destiny Nicole Steele. Walker Michael White.
Master of Fine Arts degree will now be awarded to the candidates from the School of Filmmaking. Dean Susan Ruskin will join me on the stage. Graduates, please come forward.
Livia Campos de Menezes. Aja Jajante Cooper. Martha Ann Dillon. Matthew 8 Federoff. Caleb M. Gardner. Seth Burton Hall. Hadley Carolyn James. Alexandra Avril Klein. Clarielle Janie Ruth Marsh. Abigail L. Palmer. Morton James Savage. Lauren Bryce Sawyer. Reed Lawrence Tracy. Dawn I. Waldo.
The Professional Artist Certificate will now be awarded to the candidates from the School of Music. Joining me on the stage is the Dean of Music, Brian Cole. Graduates, please come forward.
Nicholas George Saihuntas. Alec John Wasserman. Nia Imani Williams.
The Master of Music degree will now be awarded to the candidates from the School of Music. Graduates, please come forward.
Derek Wesley Arnold. Alicia Diane Bacharach. Carl Frederick Butterman. Sarah Christine Harrigan. Patricia Grace Hazard. Oscar Hernandez. Rachel Marie Ice. Cameron Lee Jackson. Benjamin Kugler. Justin Adam Lee. Emma Lynn. Melissa Ann Littlepage. Anna Maria Locke. Thomas Penry McMillan. Catherine Brooke Moncheski. Christian Orr. Kaylee Christina Marie Poor. Ryan Leo Roycola. Douglas Eugene Rowe. Clifford Elliott Tan. Brittany Lynn Thomas.
The Bachelor of Fine Arts degree will now be awarded to the graduates of the School of Dance. Joining me on stage is the Dean of Dance, Susan Jaffe. Graduates from the School of Dance, please come forward.
Malik Austin Burnett. Aaron Blair Burt. Brooke Mackenzie Church. Devin Ashley Cook. Hannah Rose DiLorenzo. Abby Grace Lynn DePrima. Elizabeth Stewart Finfeld. Taylor Lynn Flood. Gregory Marquise Hamilton. Emily Ann Harney. Sheree Ariel Henderson Hammonds. Natalie Ann Kirk. Rebecca Kaylin Claft. Kaylin Elizabeth Klutz. Jamie Deanna McGovern. Haley Elizabeth McRoy. Jordan Christopher Medley. Eris C. Merrill. Sarah Marie Neisler. Jamima Korabina Orsura. Raya Paloma. Gabrielle Loren Rulak. Rachel Gabrielle Serafini. Tierney Marie Sorensen. Kristen Noel Sumrell. Kylene Faye Valoris. Christopher Mayol Yalanin.
The Bachelor of Fine Arts degree will now be awarded to the graduates from the School of Design and Production. Joining me at the stage is Dean Michael Kelly. Graduates from the School of Design and Production, please come forward.
Henry Willis Ballard. Matthew Ryan Barnes. Lindsay Renee Brown. Kelsey Dawn Burns. Robert William Byerly. Andrew G. Canning Skinner. Tiffany Garyi Chen. Victoria Noel Cruz. Brian Nathan Davis. Stephen S.D. Davis. Olivia Rhett Donovan. Rebecca Teresa Eckes. Paula Andrea Escobar. Adele Elizabeth Espinosa. Catherine R. Fester. Emily Franks North. William Grayson Frazier. Tyler Lee Fry. Khalil Jamal George. Elizabeth Marie Hackman. Is this one? Right. Jacob C. Harbeck. Forrest Grace Horsley. Courtney Ray Howard. Evan Harris Kushner. Sarah Lozo. Aiden Marshall. Rachel Ann McPherson. Whitney Racine Mears. Colin Christopher Medlin. Jennifer Renee Mullins. Claire E. Murphy. Elizabeth Ann Murphy. Morgan Francis Oakes. Jason Player O'Neill. Alan Bryant Osuna Beasley. Lauren Elizabeth Pennybaker. Haley Victoria Razette. Anna Christina Riddick. Ashley Marie Robinson. Danielle Marie Rowe. Laura Austin Skeding. Sarah Josephine Siegel. Courtney Wren Serber. Lauren Elizabeth Scora. Jared Miles Smith. Emily Elaine Stratman. Tia Nicole Salina. Abigail Michelle Tremblay. Susanna Lee Wagner. Ridley Elise Walker. Henry Foster Weiland. Taylor Rachel Weiner. Sarah Claire Zahn. Diane Elizabeth Zimmerman. Kathleen A. Ryan.
The Bachelor of Fine Arts will now be awarded to the graduates of the School of Drama. Joining me on the stage is Dean Scott Ziegler. Graduates of the School of Drama, please come forward.
Jordan Everett Bell. Jordan Nolvery Forney Boatman. Dylan Connor Bogus. Carl R. Bryant. John Tyler Campbell. Mitchell Connolly. Julia Kathleen Kreitzer. Trey Alexander Dukes. Samuel Eric Farnsworth. James Robert Alton Gaither. Margaret Isabel Gayford. Sarah Catherine Gordon. Everett Richard Graham. Mariah Ariane Gilmet. Andrew David Hollinger. Devin Simone Elise Ketzler Fitzgerald. Makai Darnell Lee. Mary Hannah Myers. Grace Madden Parker. Colleen Mary Smith. Hasiem Hilal Rami Muhammad.
The Bachelor of Fine Arts will now be awarded to the graduates of the School of Filmmaking. Joining me on the stage is Dean Susan Ruskin. Graduates from the School of Filmmaking, please come forward.
Willie Frank Adams. Kiefer El Sol Blue Albin. Caitlin Michelle Alley. Bridget Samantha Anderson. J. Michael Batchelor. Abraham Bengio. Lucas Bond. Carly Carissa Bornman. Peter Raymond Brown. Theodore Martin Berkeley. Ebony Sojourner Cawthorn. Gregory Chandler Kearley. Julie Bridget Chernesky. Grant William Conversano. Edie Bell Crowder. Kevin Thomas Putrara. Katerina Alexa Chartoriski. Russell Graham Davis. Ashley Mae DeLuca. Abden John Egan. Nicole Giselle Eng. Allison Leno Farrington. Brian A. Ferenchik. Eric Michael Gesualdo. Savannah Simone Giselson. Corey Michael Graff. Mariah Simon Hall. Andrew McHenry Hayworth. Lauren Callie Henderson. Tia Chalet Hicks. Tyler William Hollander. Thomas Harrington Jackson. Garrett Myers Kim. Thomas Alexander Klain. Nathan Strong Knox. Hannah Jordan Lane. Gregory Livengood. Casey Anthony Manino. Karina May Serrano Marquez. Christopher Rand Lee Matthews. Brittany A. McDonough. John McLean. Emily Reese Millhouse. Brian Norton Morrison. Caleb Joseph Morrison. Nathan Joseph Nicolau. Teresa Rose Nieto. Emmett Thomas Paget. Vishal K. Parmar. Michael Angelo Pastor. Gabriela Perez Brugada. Delaney Hope Rath. Kinsey Caroline Reinhardt. Lori Ann Rindu. Keenan Michael Rogers. Justin Edward Sanchez. Seamus William Sass. Samantha Marie Schellenberg. Jonah Randall Schutz Reed. Scott Aaron Smoot. Trenton Wesley Spivey. Kathleen R. Saint-Ange. Teo Livingston Stirs. Dorian Silashi Thomas. Matsaliso Tlai. Shelby Adele Tyree. Lorraine Volatier. Joshua Thomas Wells. Nathaniel Duncan Werner. Mary Lee Sheridan Wiley. Michael Quentin Williams. Carrie Elizabeth Williamson. Charles Octavio Velasquez Witoski. Sims Hampton Stratford Wright. Joelle Oceana Zapatowski.
Dean Brian Cole will now join me on the stage to help award the bachelor's degree to the students from the School of Music. Graduates from the School of Music, please come forward.
Taylor Mason Philip Boone. Jessica Leanne Buford. Alexandra Drake Church. Ashley England Klassen. Michael Owen Dodds. John Ingram Ibrahim. Anye F. Farrar. Oliver Benjamin Glynn. Andrew Liam Hasher. William Garrett Hilliard. Daniel Patrick Kane. Scott Gregory Lee. Peyton Alexandra Marion. Sarah Catherine Mitchner. Jared Matthew Parsons. Eric Benjamin Powell. Sarah Annette Roberts. Kyrie Antoinette Roll. Delphine Skeen. Karina Luckett Sturdy. Ava Ilsa Wetzel.
All right, congratulations once again, class of 2018. Now, over the next 90 minutes, that was a joke. That always gets a laugh. So we welcomed you fresh out of high school with great expectations. Your talent got you in, your grit got you through, and your grace under pressure will serve you wherever you go from here. Our deans, faculty, administrators, staff, and supporters watched your transformation as artists and as citizens, and we couldn't be more proud. I am sure that most of you recall the moment, many years before you got here, when you came out to your family as an artist. Where'd you think I was going with that? Parents, let's be honest. Some of you took the news pretty hard at first. You might have hoped for finance, law, or engineering. Do you really want to be an artist? What did we do? But you knew in your heart that your child has a rare gift and a passion that must be nurtured and valued. That success is defined by doing what you love and loving what you do. that your child's unique voice, discipline, and passion would be more fully developed and appreciated in a collegial community of artists like UNCSA. That being true to oneself and listening to one's inner voice can lead to the richest and most rewarding life of all. I'd like to leave you with one of my favorite passages from a book by Frederick Buechner, the Presbyterian minister and author of more than 30 works of fiction and nonfiction, where he describes success better than I ever could as finding and answering your true calling. And I quote, "The voice we should listen to most as we choose a vocation is the voice that we might think we should listen to least, and that is the voice of our own gladness. What can we do that makes us gladdest? What can we do that leaves us with the strongest sense of sailing true north and of peace? Which is much of what gladness is. Is it making things with our hands out of wood or stone or paint on canvas? Or is it making something we hope like truth out of words? Or is it making people laugh or weep in a way that cleanses their spirit? I believe that if it is a thing that makes us truly glad, then it is our thing. It is the calling voice that we were made to answer with our lives. In a world where there is so much drudgery, so much grief, so much emptiness and fear and pain, our gladness in our work is as much needed as we ourselves need to be glad. If we keep our eyes and ears open, our hearts open, we will find the place surely. I honor all of the exceptional, aspiring, and emerging artists on this stage and across our campus who answered a calling to dance, play an instrument, act, direct, write, edit, make costumes, build sets, or follow all kinds of creative pursuits. It pains me to hear these concentrations described, or even dismissed, as soft subjects by so many of today's education policymakers. Maybe they really are soft subjects, because I've seen our students, the students on this stage, soften up even the hardest of hearts. The talent it takes to make people laugh or weep or wonder, or to bring even fleeting moments of joy into a world seemingly fixated on violence and vanity, that is a talent, that is a gift and a vocation we should hold dear and sacred. That talent, your talent, can be channeled into a meaningful and impactful life's work that changes and inspires the world. It can transform a thrilling and thriving global arts and entertainment industry. It's the reason I stand on this stage today to fight for all of you and for all artists to assume your rightful place in our culture and our society. And now on a lighter note, I wish to end this ceremony with the words of one great artist to another. The words are by Martha Graham, a pioneer of American modern dance, and they were addressed to another great choreographer and dancer, Agnes DeMille, one of the founding mothers of our great University of North Carolina School of the Arts. DeMille had just seen a revival of her cowboy ballet, Rodeo, and wrote, "The work wasn't good enough. All changed, all passed. There was no way of ensuring lasting beauty. I spoke of this to Martha Graham outside of Schraff's restaurant. She bowed her head and looked burningly into my face." Here with us this morning to voice Martha Graham's response to Agnes DeMille is a radiant actress and dear friend to UNCSA, wife to the late writer John Ely, whose imagination conjured the School of the Arts. She has been nominated for 9 Tony Awards, winning for The Lion in Winter, and 7 Drama Desk Awards, winning 5. She is known to millions of people across the world as Aunt May in the Spider-Man film series. Please welcome the incomparable Rosemary Harris.
Thank you all so much. It's a very great honor to share the stage with the graduating class of 2018 and Dr. Tazewell. What Miss Martha Graham said to Miss Agnes DeMille was this: there is a vitality, a life force, an energy, a quickening that is translated through you into action. And because there is only one of you in all the world, this action is unique. And if you block it, it will never exist in any other medium, and it will be lost. The world will not have it. It is not your business to determine how good it is, or how valuable, or how it compares with other expressions, but it is your business to keep it yours clearly and directly. Keep the channel open. You do not even have to believe in yourself or your work, but you have to keep yourself open to the urges that motivate you. Keep the channel open. No artist is pleased. There is no satisfaction whatever at any time. There is only a queer divine dissatisfaction, a blessed unrest that keeps us marching. Goodbye, and God bless you all, and congratulations. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Rosemary. I also wish to thank the parents and the loved ones for sharing these extraordinary young artists with us at UNCSA. Thank you, graduates, for letting us be a part of your lives during these formative years, for giving us such joy day after day, and for enriching our lives. Thank you, thank you, thank you, and congratulations. Audience members, please remain in your seats to allow the platform party, graduates, and faculty to recess out of the theater. And graduates, please recess to the street in front of the Stevens Center and have a great time. Thank you.